Fitness professionals, pay attention. I'm talking today with an icon of the fitness industry. And if you've been in the fitness industry for 5 minutes, you may know her name. And what we're going to talk about is what, from looking back with a 30-year perspective, you see now social media, what it's doing, what it's not doing, what the opportunities are, and the messages that we share for you about why your message, your voice, your unique approach is enough, and how you actually do the job that you're meant to do if your purpose and your passion is fitness or health. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to Fitness Marketing Mastery, where I share marketing and sales strategies, sometimes give you hints about how you too can work with your midlife women in their hormone changes. But I want you to have a life and a business that you love with the freedom and the ease without sales, pushiness, and sleaze. And with that little Dr. Seuss note, we're going to begin it. Let's introduce my guest, Petra Kolber. My guest is Petra Kolber. She's an author, speaker, DJ, performance coach, podcast host, and more recently, a digital nomad. And yes, if you have curiosity about that, we're going to dig deep into that. In August 2019, Petra released her first book, The Perfection Detox, which was recently translated into French and Spanish and Arabic. She has over 30 years of experience in the fitness industry with best-selling workout videos, a television show, and has been honored to receive some of the most prestigious accolades in this fitness arena. Petra is a 2-time cancer survivor and is passionate about waking people up to the precious gift of time. Her current work is helping women in transition look at their future through the lens of possibility so they can create the life of their dreams versus leaving their life with regret. She will be traveling for the next 2 years, get this, as she writes her book and thinks that maybe in her 60s, she'll settle down and become a grown-up. And here's to hoping that never happens. Petra, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Deborah.
So Petra, looking back with the experience that you've got, really, deeply entrenched in having a big influence on our fitness industry, what advice would you give to somebody just starting out?
I think stay curious. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle, because we do that. We look around and we're like, what should I be doing? They're doing this. They're so successful. Just know why you're here. Know the impact that you want to make. Know that the body is just the vessel. It's not the end game. And think of yourself more than a business card. Try not to label yourself as something that you're doing, but think about how is it you want your client, your students to feel. Do you want them to feel more courageous? Do you want to make them feel more joyful? Do you want to make them help them feel more brave, more whatever, bold, something that's not attached to the physical end? And then keep coming back to like, what else can I learn outside of the fitness industry that will help me find the tools to be able to express and ask great questions, have a lens of appreciative inquiry where I can really dig deep into what will help this person, not just get into a body that is healthy, but get into a body that is their vehicle to allow them to move into a life of their dreams. So see yourself as a feeling you want to create versus actions that you want to do.
Love, love, love. All right. I'm going to ask you a 2-part question. I'm just going to ask both parts so that you know what we're going to come back to. But here's how we're starting. How do you feel about collectively, no one person, no pointing fingers, but how do you feel collectively about how we're doing with social media messages in the fitness industry? And part 2 is, where do you feel there's an opportunity for fitness? And I guess I'd like to include health coaches in that, for sharing their messages?
Ooh, so good. I mean, here's the thing. We all have our opinions about social media. Me too, but it's not going away. So instead of judging it, let's be the change. I have been guilty of this. I think get curious. Just because someone is doing something a certain way doesn't mean that you have to. I think it's with social media, we have to be there. We got to go where the people are. They're never going to find you otherwise. It just is. So we can have the suffering of wanting it to be different. So now it is that. I love Gary Vaynerchuk. He said, the internet, social media, it doesn't have an emotion. It doesn't care what you think. It doesn't care whether you use it or not. So when we can take the emotion out of it and go, how do we want to make social media better? How do we want to elevate the conversation? So don't judge, don't consume less, create more, create content that you would like to see. So for example, when we get off this recording, Deborah, I am not a lover of reels, but man, if I hear one more person tell me, if you want to explode your business and expand your, it's like, okay, I'm not going to fight this. I'm not going to change my life for it, but I am going to start dabbling. But I'm not going to be dancing around the room. And I saw someone doing this balance exercise, putting their shoes on. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's genius. I'll put that to music. I'll talk about balance in life. It feels like the content is in alignment with who I am and my brand. And then let's go and share it and then not worry about the outcome. We can only go and share with the idea of elevating the conversation. We can't go on, I think we get into trouble if we go on hoping to get the likes and the clicks and the follows. That's the wrong reasons. There's that part to it. Oh, I've forgotten the second part of the question.
Where do you see there's an opportunity? Meaning, where is there a need still not being met? And you may have woven that answer into what you just said, but I'll let you restate it because I think it's valuable.
I think we might be looking at the wrong types of content. If we believe that we have to go on and dance and do the latest remix
and point.
Oh my God. So sorry. That's killing me. At least if you're going to do that, do it on the beat. Oh, kills me. You're not
choreography.
Yes, sorry. Take the girl out of fitness, cannot take fitness out of the girl. But there's other people on there just sitting and talking. I'm like, and they have a huge following. There's a wise woman, probably our age, a little bit older maybe. All she does is she's a coach and she gives you 10 tips and they're great tips and there's no music and she's got a huge following. So I think if you dig deep enough, and she was actually watching them, I'm like, there's the gap. We get into trouble if we're trying to be what we think we need to be. But I think the gap is, or the opportunity is, what's your message? What's your through line? What are you known for? Why are you worth following? And if your word is, I want people to feel bold, how are you going to translate that message onto a reel, onto a TikTok, whatever your drug of choice is? So know your message before you go on and share it. That's the opportunity.
Oh, that is so good. So good. I see so many new fitness professionals and that might be that they're just out of college new, or it might be that it's second career and they're changing to, post-pandemic, something that they love, but they're spending so much time wondering how they can grow their social media. And it becomes addicting to look at their phone constantly to say, oh, I got more followers. And I'm like, oh, this is not the way. This is not
all
the
those
way.
Followers converting, and then you have the followers. What are you going to do with them?
Right.
Where's the money? At the end of the day, where's the money? So I'm trying to get more strategic myself. And you're great at this too. It's like, notice how much you're consuming versus creating. Try and maximize your time. Like for now, I know we're doing audio here, but now when I do my podcast, I try and get video because I'm building a YouTube channel. Ha ha ha. So I'm like, okay, well, there's more content for my YouTube. I can mix it in there. And at the same time, I'm using my Zoom camera. I also have my iPhone now off to the side because I saw a really great social media guy doing that. So when I can cut in, there's a third angle. So it's like, a little bit more dynamic. How can you, double down on your content, make it go twice as far, it's not going anywhere. And our ability to focus and create content that we believe in versus consume other people's content that is not going to help us build our brand will be, I think, the difference between those, people who are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs that do well this year and those that don't. It'll be your ability to put blinders on. Yeah, go on, get trained on what Instagram latest thing is, and then get off and then go and create and do. And notice how much time are you on there actually adding material and how much are you on there looking at other people and judging. We all judge, but we're judging it because, here's the thing, whether you like it or not, they're doing it.
Yeah. Well, and I think we're judging, but we get into that self-comparison mode. Like they're doing it and I'm not, or I should be doing that because they are. So I think to add to what you said, making sure that if you're consuming your own avatar, your ideal client's comments. What are they saying? Consume that and then respond.
Yeah, so good. So get involved in the conversation, right? If we're going to be there, let's make it mean something. And that shifted for me, Deborah, even this past week. I was like, why am I here? How is this tying into everything else that I want? What's the end game? And realize that women of my age are on social media. And let's just change the conversation. What would I want to see? And let's go and create that. It can be fun. It can have great music, but there's going to be something a little bit deeper, maybe under the surface, that you'll get if you're looking closely enough.
So valuable. Thank you so much for sharing these tips. All right. So we also have to just tease a little bit for fitness pros, health coaches, that you're on this little adventure around the world. So where is the best place? Is there one specific, or you want to mention a couple that they can follow you, kind of look over your shoulder at what you're doing and how you're doing it?
Okay, yeah. Well, if you're going to be consuming my content, first of all, thank you. I'll try and make it worthwhile. As I just now go and ask you to do what I just told you not to do. So Instagram, I think it's going to be Instagram right now, which is Petra Kolber. Coming next, I'm going to state it here, Deborah. I'm going to put it out into the ethers. Coming in February will be my YouTube channel. That would be great for me because then you'll hold me accountable to creating content. So yeah. But also, can I just add one more thing, Deborah? I just want everyone who's listening, you're doing such amazing work. And when we get hung up on watching what other people are doing, it often can paralyze us. And then we stop sharing the work that the world desperately needs. And you are the only person that can deliver it in a way that people that need you to do this message, there's thousands of people that can only hear about getting stronger, having more wellness in their life from you. And I think, Deborah, we hear this so often, don't compare, someone else's highlight reel to your backstory. We can all be saying the same thing. And if we're not careful with social media, we get into that, it's already been done before, so much better than I could do it. But you haven't done it. And the unique magic source is you. And when you're sharing your passion and when you as a person are so deeply intertwined in the work that you're doing, it can be very hard to separate what you do from who you are. And when you can put a little bit of space from that, and just remember, you are doing incredible work. You would not be in this business otherwise. And the world needs you. So many people need your help. So just go out and create with heart. And don't expect overnight, because overnight it's a long game. It's planting seeds. Be consistent, know your why, show up in service, and it'll be worth it in the end.
Juicy words to live by. Thanks so much again for being here.
Thank you.
All right, fitness pros, now you know it's your turn. So I'd love for you to leave me a message, leave us a question if there was something I should have asked and didn't, at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/you're enough. If you didn't hear anything else this entire broadcast, you were roaming somewhere else in your phone or your mind, those were the words, really. There is room for your message, the way you deliver it. So fitnessmarketingmastery.com/you're enough, and we'll have all the links so that you too can follow Petra and what she's doing and how she's delivering her message. All right, what are you waiting for? The world needs us really right now more than ever.